Hello and welcome to GIS Interview Questions. This presentation just covers questions only. You have to find the answers yourself. My background in GIS, I've been working in GIS for almost 30 years. I have a university degree in geography, and I've also taken GIS certificates at community colleges. I've worked as a technician, coordinator, and a GIS supervisor. I've worked in the municipal and environmental fields. I've taught at the community college level for over 8 years in the environmental, engineering, and surveying programs. Now, interview preparedness. Make sure you have your resume and cover letter with you that you submitted for this job. Make sure you have samples of your work with you, both digital and hard copy. If it's a web map or application, ask to submit it ahead of time. Have a pen and paper ready to make notes. Practice ahead of time. Write down any potential questions and get a friend to help you to go through the process. Think of potential questions and be ready to talk about yourself and be ready to ask questions of the interviewers. Now, during part of the interview process, there will be introductions. The interviewers will introduce themselves, listen and learn. They should talk about the responsibilities of the job. Then they will let you talk about yourself. Tell them about your GIS education and work experience. Do you do any volunteer work, GIS related or unrelated? Perhaps you're a hockey coach or a soccer coach. Tell them a bit about why you want to work with them. Research the organization and learn as much as you can ahead of time. Generally, interview questions will not be too technical. They don't expect you to regurgitate everything that you've learned in school. The questions could be more like these below. Do you prefer ArcGIS Pro or ArcMap, and why? Do you prefer ArcGIS Online Classic Map Viewer versus the new Map Viewer Beta? What is NG911? And how will it be challenging for our organization? What is the difference between a GRISI and ArcMap? How do you see GIS in 5 years' time? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Expect the how or what questions. How would you set up an ArcGIS server platform? How would you build the best app for a public community portal? What layers would be essential for a community urban planning web map? What's the difference between a web map and a WebGIS app? Time management. What would you do if you couldn't meet a deadline? Who would you turn to? What would you tell your employer? When would you tell your employer there is an issue and you need help? Would it be at the last minute? Provide ideas on how to get around any issues with time management. What would you do to improve your time management? What GIS software do you know? List the software. Outline how you use the software and for what purposes. State how long you have used the software for. Where did you get training on the software? What do you think the most critical issue that our organization is facing with GIS? Here you might want to review the job posting, as it will likely state what the critical need is for the organization. Research the organization and identify the most critical needs and think about how GIS can be applied to solve their problems. They might ask you, what was your most challenging GIS project in the past? Tell them the importance of the project. Tell them about the deadlines you had to meet. Tell them about the issues you faced and the challenges. Tell them how you got around the obstacles. Tell them that the project ended up as a success because of you. Now, at the end of the interview, there should be a discussion period. This is where you could show your work. Printed maps, PDFs, ArcGIS Online, maps and apps, ArcGIS Server. Published works in magazines and journals. Anything you can think of. Make sure you interact with the interviewers. Ask them questions about the job. For example, who would you report to? Is there a chance for promotion? Are there any annual allowances for training and conferences? Is there a GIS budget? Is there a GIS steering committee? Now just remember, do your best, practice, practice, and practice. Keep trying if you don't get a job, and try again. Practice over and over ahead of time before the interview. Just remember, somebody like Tom Brady was picked 199th overall and has ended up as one of the NFL's all-time best quarterbacks through hard work and never giving up. Good luck to you.